lacks the ability to pay attention to details. Number 3, a leader lacks capacity for strategic thinking. Number 1, vision. Number 2, ability to pay attention to things that are most critical. 3, lacks strategic thinking capacity. Once you have those ingredients, then a nation is on its way to a slippery slope. How would you know a leader lacks vision? A leader lacks vision in the policies. Most of his policies will be self-serving, will be special interest serving, will not be people serving. When the policies of a leader become concerned about special interests, what are special interests? Friends, family, people that gave him things for the elections, people that invested in him in the past, people he owes favors, political IOUs, people that he owes favors over 30, 40 years ago, people that helped him, authorities, security authorities and all of that, that does favor for him. It could even be election authorities. It could be anything. So anybody that he owes a favor or that he uses the capacity of power to be able to uplift is a special interest. They might even be his childhood friends. But if the need to help those people are more than his need to help an average Nigerian or an average countryman of his, then you can have a proliferation of special interests. How does special interest destroy vision? Very good question. You can ask me. Very good question. I'll answer you. Special interest destroys vision because the interest of that special person might not be the interest of a nation. Example, when the interest of a man is to acquire wealth, and his acquisition of wealth might jeopardize the growth of a country. That's how special interest destroys nations. That's why you see that some people are getting richer while some people are getting poorer. The generality of the interest of any leader should be making the life of a citizen a lot better. Anytime a leader's interest is about servicing special interest, then you can never have a society that will ever grow. Where do this happen? Third world countries. A lot of third world countries are run by special interests. Recently, South Africa, we had a case with the Gupta brothers. They were special interests. In fact, the government in South Africa had to set up something called the Zondo Commission to be able to look at the activities and atrocities of the Gupta brothers and how they were able to manipulate the incumbent president of South Africa then. So when you look at that, you see that special interest reigns supreme. And did this special interest end South African people? No. The Gupta brothers were enjoying living life at the expense of their other South Africans. For instance, where is the special interest in Nigeria? Oil sector. Why is it that with so much oil we have, we can't still buy oil at a pump with something reasonable? Because special interest oversees every area. And when you look at the oil value chain, you must definitely be a special interest before you can play. And that's why it's so difficult. And despite the fact that we say, oh, the problem is the fact that we don't refine in our country all these years. Dangote built a refinery now. For us to purchase his oil, special interest comes to play. So you are hearing cases about people still going to import the same oil that we produce locally, while other countries want to buy the same petrol from him. But we special interest. I keep telling people, you might not like everything about Dangote, but ensure that as a countryman, let's make that business work. Because you see, we keep shouting today. Tomorrow, somebody will want to come and build a refinery here. So do you think that with all Dangote is suffering, it will motivate other people to say, let's go and build a refinery here? That's the question. Also, the special interest dominating is because of the lack of the vision of a leader. When a leader opens his eyes and says, no, my country means more to me than any interest, then that's where the country will prosper. But as long as you have a leader that is not strong, that want to please his friends, that want to please his admirers, that want to please people in his business ecosystem, the country will never make it. And that's the challenge we are facing as a nation today. Our leaders owe a lot of people favors. So every Tom, Dick, and Harry is made a minister. We once had a minister in this country that did a lot of things that people were laughing at and saying how funny as a ministerial position would become. Just because somebody was owing that ministerial person something. So everybody you owe something now, you must put them in government. The question is, we don't even think that government is a serious business any longer. We put all sorts of low quality people in government. The question I would like to ask Nigerian leaders is, the person you put in that ministerial position, can you make that person a mentor to your child? Honestly. So if you can't make that person a mentor or a foster parent to your child, can you leave your child with them for a week? No. If you can't leave your child with them or make that person a mentor, why would you leave that person because you owe them something? For the generality of Nigeria, as a leader, if you say you are the father of the nation, you should treat the children of Nigeria the way you will also treat your own children. What your children eat, the least children in Nigeria too should be able to eat it. If they can't eat it, then you're not the father of the nation. Your children are living so much happiness. The nation is living so much squalor. And you say you are the father of the nation. What father are you? You are not any father. Is it by giving handouts? Is it by giving token? Question is, the same token you give to children of the poor, is that what you give to your children? You see them live in a deplorable condition. Can you allow your children to live in that deplorable condition you see the children of Nigeria living? Why is all of this the case? Lack of vision. When a leader has lack of vision, he can't plan. I've been in Saudi, everybody knows, for about a week, and as I came back from Saudi, I went to do our dental outreach. And I want to say a big thank you to all of our partners, Olam Foods, for getting food parks available, KKB Club that brought in some dentists for us and all of that in Odogbolu. And we did for, about 60, 70, close to 100 people at the dental outreach. And we're still going to have another outreach before the end of the year. We are looking at the 14th of December. So something for December for the people to be able to help them in Odogbolu community. And people are asking, why is there only Odogbolu? I do more in many other communities, but I do a lot of partnerships in many other communities. And I partner across the board. We've partnered here on this platform to pay for services and things. We are partnering with Icon of Hope Foundation here to be able to raise money for people in prisons and all of that. So I extend my tentacles across board, but I do with a lot of partnership. It's just that the Oseni Center is resident in Odogbolu. So when you look at it, I was in Saudi recently. Do you know their vision 2030 that they want to use to upscale the economy of Saudi? Guess what? It's written on their notes, on their 500 real notes. Vision 2030. Just imagine that. So a country that is so proud of its vision that can put it on its own currency, you will know they are ready. Does Saudi have its own problem? Yes. I'm not saying anybody is perfect, but I'm just saying that's a level of the capacity of believing in your vision. Do we have that here? No. How can we bring that? That's why I say visionless leader will destroy a generation. A visionless leader will only think about selfish interest. A visionless leader will not bring about purpose. The Bible says, my people perish. You know why? Complete it. I would like to say the lack of foresight and vision is one of the reasons why people perish. So once you know that people cannot be changed when they have a mindset that is already tantamount to destruction. And when their mindset is tantamount to destruction, they can't grow anything. Question is, where are the roads in Nigeria? I was checking Nigeria and Saudi. As at over 10, 15 years ago, we're almost the same in GDP. But Saudi was intentional. Today, Saudi is over 1 trillion GDP. Now we're back to about over 300 billion GDP. The president was devalued, we squandered our riches. People have grown so corrupt. Special interests has grown so corrupt. You can't build a nation with special interests. As long as we have special interests in Nigeria, we can't build this nation. I tweeted something yesterday that the economy is so destroyed, I don't see a path yet to recovery. You know why I tweeted that? Because as long as we cannot face the interest of special interests, then we can't see a path to recovery. Someone said, if I blame the poor masses too, we are so gullible. Yes, you always have gullibility, but the gullibility of a lot of people was put in there by tribalism, which our leaders used to exploit us. I'm sure a lot of people now see that a cup of garri in the market, a bag of beans does not know your tribe or religion. Hunger day everywhere. That's why we talk about vision. So please, we can only use the media to be able to educate the minds. But people too must also upgrade themselves. But these leaders too will use all sorts of methods. And you know why people can be gullible? Because we've not provided social empowerment. What is empowerment? Creation of jobs. How do you create jobs? Make environment conducive. Haven't you noticed that you set up a business anywhere in Nigeria? The government that doesn't support you for anything, the first thing they are going to come and collect is taxes. The question we should ask the government, anybody that comes to collect taxes from you, ask the government, what have you done for my business? If a government has not done anything for businesses and they want to collect taxes, then it's a misnomer. So when they are increasing all sorts of taxes for the businesses, the other day somebody was telling me that the business was going about 3 billion in taxes. And the question, what has government done? Common electricity, not regular. You have to use diesel and generator and all of that. What has government done? The government pay your salaries of your workers during COVID? No. So how did you survive? All of this is wrapped around lack of vision. I'm going to take a lot of calls today. And I'm going to continue this series at some point. When you lack vision, you lack ability to be able to create solutions. Because everything in the world is in your mind. Everything in the world is in your mind. Where your mind stops, that's where your life stops. There are some leaders that as long as Nigeria keeps having them and they don't have a broad vision, Nigeria can never succeed. And you will see it in the states. The growth of a state is tantamount to a mindset. Donald Duke had a great mind. He could think of Tinapa bringing to life. When he left, the people he left it with didn't share the vision. But the same Donald Duke wanted to make Tinapa like Las Vegas. Go to Las Vegas. That was a desert land. Today it's a big money spinner for America. Because people started and had the mindset to build it. Look at Miami. If not for Flagler that started building Miami, where are we going to be today? So it's about the mindset. The numbers to call 0818 099 1991. And as long as you people keep supporting visionless leaders in the name of tribe, then definitely they will take away your mindset, they will take away your opportunities, and they will destroy your destiny. When they destroy your destiny, your tribe will not save you. As long as you stand up firm, Nothing can stop you. Hello? Hello? 0818 099 1991. 0818 099 1991. So, except you wake up, and waking up means a lot. You know, in Africa, they say the day you wake up, that's where your morning starts. There are a lot of us that have not woken up, and we don't see the need to wake up because you benefit from these politicians. Hope you know the billions they can steal, they'll never give you. They will only give you small money to keep your head above water. Hello, how are you? Hello? Morning, what's your name? Morning, what's your name? Hello? Morning, what's your name?
Yeah, Mr. Joe from Bariga.
Mr. Joe from Bariga, talk to me, sir.
Yes, my brother, you are saying you have said talked wonderfully. Anybody will get here, make it here. Anybody will not get here, continue to support them. Even my brother, my building here will have a lot of pensioners and workers. They were even saying that this man has not even paid him the salary, the minimum wage they are talking about. The minimum wage he has not paid. I don't know what the money subsidy, we are getting, with the subsidy we are getting. I don't know where the man is spending the money, or his subsidy. I don't know where the man is spending. Mr. President, where are you spending this money to? Which place are you spending money? All the roads from here to the east is bad. From where to Sapele is bad. From where even for the whole Nigeria, the roads are so bad. Hey, God day, oh God day. Mr. President, God day. God is watching you.
It is well.
Thank you.
You see, with all of this, I'm saying, if care is not taken, people will still go and vote in their oppressors in next election cycle. And they do it every year. You know why they do it? Because they've only learned oppression. Oppression is a learned behavior. When you have a mind that has vision, it's emancipated. When you have a mind that learns oppression, then society can never be better. Hello, how are you?
Good morning. This is Manja Pharmaceutical calling from Abuja.
My brother, I just mentioned you now. We're partnering with you, Icon of Hope. How is the outreach that you are doing, that we're doing in partnership with, Rufai Oseni Center? How is that outreach going in the Suleja prison?
Yeah, thank you very much. Congratulations. Thank you. How was your journey to Saudi, to Riyadh? I was so happy. I follow you.
It was good. We bless God, my brother. We're back from Riyadh. As I came back, I went straight to the outreach, the dental outreach. We did for about 60 people yesterday in Odogbulu. We did scaling and polishing for their teeth, and we gave them good dental health and education. And we also gave them food packs,
Yeah, I saw it. You posted it on your platform.
Yeah.
I follow everything you do. I was so happy seeing you in Riyadh when you snap picture with the former director of Goku, all those people. I was so pleased. I said, wow, you are going higher ground.
God be praised.
For the average Nigerians, because you are a prophet, if you don't know today. You are a mouthpiece of God. Because majority of us, we don't have opportunity to speak, but you speak the mind of average Nigerians. So that was why I assure you this: no enemy can conquer you. You will triumph over your adversary. I'm very optimistic about that. The only thing I keep doing for you is that I pray for you every day. Because I've never met you one-on-one, but you have this kind of big passionate heart, and that is what is keeping you moving. So
how far with our prisoners in Suleja?
Yes, the challenge we are having is that one. When I got there, because I tried to book an appointment with them, they look at teenagers in the prison. They were sleeping on the floor, nobody cares, malnutrition, because some of them were transferred to Kuje, but Kuje could not come. Because
were those the teenagers that they went to court recently as regards the protest that they arrested them?
Yes.
So you saw them in Kuje prison?
Yes.
Yeah. Don't wait again. Even if it's that 110,000, just start. Don't wait. It is in doing that God brings liberation. So even if it's that 110,000 we get before midweek, hopefully people will be able to respond from here. But one thing, because when I tell people I'm mad for Christ when it comes to charity. So sometimes I don't like to wait on people. Yeah, you get donation, but I don't like to depend on people. That thing I want to do, as long as I've done it, that's it. That's why yesterday, despite the fact I was tired, I came back from Saudi, I still went ahead to do that outreach yesterday. And God has taken all the glory. That's what that matters. So please, my brother, even if that 110,000, don't wait. Just look for what you can buy with 100. Let's just do. When you do it first, you will see the glory of God. All right. But we have announced it. Hopefully, people will buy into it. I know things are very tough for people. All of our diaspora community, what we are doing is we're trying to feed prisoners. Especially those kids that you saw in the video that went viral. In Kuje prison. So call the account number once again. Yeah. 611 2809. Is it?
I got from Support Foundation, and I can call my phone number perhaps if there is anyone that wants to call.
Okay. Call your phone number. Yeah.
090.
Yeah.
66.
Yeah.
83.
Yeah.
36. 27.
Okay. And all these things, you must show us accountability as we support you from here. You must all the pictures, all the receipts of everything you bought, just so that we put it all together,
Yeah.
Let's see how it pans out. It is well. We just need to reach out radically for people. Bless you so much. So that's him over there. So, and we've been partnering with him for a while here. And so it's 006 611 00611 2809. Icon of Hope Foundation. I'm trying to put it out there. Icon of Hope Unity Bank. Guys, let's reach out. This is for prisoners out there, and this is our way of reaching out to them. This is for prisoners. Let's just reach out to Kuje prison and just give what we can, towards this outreach. 0818-099-1991. The way a country treats its weakest, it shows. You will go to some countries in the world, the prison is well funded, the prison system, because they know a man being in prison is not the end of his life. He will still come back and do great things in his life. But here, the way we even treat prisoners, the way we reach out to them, it's very sad, very sad. Very sad. Oh, somebody was telling me that the number I posted is not complete. I think she had 00611. Okay. We'll look for the number again and put it out there. I think some people got it on Facebook. Some people got it on Facebook. So I'll see how we can put it out. Hello, how are you? Great to have you.
Hello, yeah. Rufai.
Yeah.
Okay. It's Michael from Suga.
Michael from Usuka. Great to have you, Michael.
Yes. Actually, based on his program I'm watching live now, it's actually encouraging. But I think my humble submission is that actually in Nigeria, I'm thinking that we're having two countries. One for the rich and one for the poor.
No, you are correct now. That's true now.
Yeah, so how are we going to have a country where we charge the minors, and yet the IGP will come out and tell us that those above 7 years are eligible to be charged court? Does it mean we don't have a juvenile court in Nigeria?
And obviously we don't. We don't have those structures. That's the sad reality. In fact, did you even see the story today? Did you even see the story today in the paper that he said that those kids were faking the fainting, that they didn't really faint. So those kids that we saw that were malnourished, they were faking the fainting.
Is it possible that they will give them a script in the prison to start writing a script to come and face in court? And is it a script that makes them minorities like that?
It's part of the script.
Everybody saw it on the court, and the counsel to the FC will just come out and tell us that all of them are adults, that all of them are married. Why the Niger police will also come and tell us that those are above 7 years? Now it's a contradictory statement. Those things are contradictory statements. But the problem in Nigeria is actually that we don't have a president. What we have is an INEC selected president.
No, we have a president.
We cannot hold somebody accountable when we are not the one that elected him.
We have a president. You see, let me tell you, my brother, I think what you are doing is what I call delusion. The beginning of delusion is to think that people too didn't vote for him. The real problem is those that vote based on ethnic and religious grounds. So if you are saying, people didn't vote for him, no, you voted your choice, but your delusion is to think everybody thinks like you. Except you remove that delusion from your mind, Nigeria will not move forward. So it's the people too. It's the people. So your greatest delusion now, that's why I've heard that narrative with INEC president. No, people actually voted for him, the incumbent president. So don't delude yourself. People in their millions voted for him. So your delusion is to think, and they have their choices.
The problem of Nigeria.
That's just it. So that's just it. So that's why you're on my show. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello. Hello. So it is the height of delusion to think people didn't vote for President Tinubu. A lot of people voted for him, and they voted for him based on whatever reason that they had, and they have a right of their choice. But the question is, when are we going to get to a point where people will vote collectively, irrespective of any other factor, but because they want to do right? That's what matters. People bought into his manifesto, and the people that voted for President Tinubu are not bad people. So please stop being delusional. I hate delusion. They voted based on what they did was right. Hello, how are you? Morning, great to have you. Yeah, I can hear you. Speak up a little louder, man.
Yeah, the truth is this.
Hello, Mama Echo.
What we get from me.
Yeah.
My senior person, no good people. He promised us that you get Buhari done. And he's doing Buhari from as far as we complain. He promised us he will reduce our purchasing power. And he's doing it.
No, but he didn't promise you that in the campaign. Those were gaffes, but those were not things in the manifesto. Let's set the record straight. He didn't promise you that in his manifesto. He said he was going to make the economy grow.
It's not in his manifesto.
No, I read the manifesto. No. I read the manifesto. Let's not say because you know me, I'm a man of fact. I read the manifesto. He promised economic growth. He didn't promise. Those things were just gaffes that they cut aside. Let's talk factually now, rationally. Let's not talk because this thing. So the economy is not good. Yes, he has not delivered on his promises.
The economy is good. If we follow the IMF and World Bank, the condition to collect loans, because the condition that is causing this trouble today, the valuation of our naira is from where we went to collect loans. So why will a president that has clout for the people collect such conditions to come and be impoverishing us? Can they go out into the street to see what is happening? Can they hear the shouting of the people they think power? Can't they? But because they are into power to grab and also to reward those they think that they are their friends in the expense of the people. They don't know that the country belongs to everybody. But they're taking Nigeria as a Nigeria PLC that only belongs to them. They are not expecting anything. Any person that is waiting for anything, they are just wasting your time. Because the price of petrol will continue to increase. And as long as that increases, it will continue to affect everything. The valuation of Nigeria will continue, Naira will continue. So as long as these two indices does not favor us, the suffering continue. So Nigeria, thank you. President Tinubu debate, continue it. Because the truth is, yes, some people voted for you. But the number that I used to announce you to be the winner was hooked and reached that number.
I mean, you don't have factual evidence because the case went to court. Let's set it straight. I just have to. I have to set it straight.
So using the white side, having with the candidate party figure, how they be able to do it until today? The answer is radically no.
Okay.
Look at the no exception. And we don't see what is happening. It's things that happen in the center. Why are we deceiving ourselves? Why?
Thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
It is not the local children that bring the election. It is all Nigerians. We are the ones that was used. At the end of the day, the fractions like an orange. When you finish talking it, we will trash. So in the next election, if this will not fit you, and you reflect your brain, and you take on a 5,000, two parts of here, and two things for them.
Thank you. Thank you. I need to go. I need to get other people to speak, but I really appreciate your point. But let's also set things straight. Hello, how are you? Morning, great to have you.
Thank you very much. I just want to make a contribution.
Where are you calling from?
I'm from Lagos.
Okay.
I want to make a contribution. I think the problem with Nigeria is the press. The press is supposed to be too cautious. I mean, I live in the UK for almost 10 years, and I can see how the BBC, even NJBJ, with the whole day, politicians are accountable. For example, the famous interview between the Pakistan and Michael Howard. You see how journalists hold themselves to account. In Nigeria, our press is too cautious. The press with this FBC rules, they don't want to see. They don't want to.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. No. The press didn't say that. That's not true. My brother, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. And I think you deserve to apologize to the press this morning. People like us, me, Rufai, stood up at great risk of my life. And the records are there. So that's not true. Don't come and tell me. I know Jeremy Paxman. He didn't do half of what I did during our elections. He didn't do half of what I did. So, no. So, and collectively too, there were a lot of people in the press that spoke up at great expense of their lives. So that's not true. Don't come and tell us BBC. I worked at some point. Don't come and tell us BBC. No. We did what we had to do. In fact, we pushed the conversation, but we also did it in interest of our country at heart. And the records are there. So salute Nigerian press. Yes, some are sold out, but those that stood firm. Not only me, a couple of my colleagues too. We all stood firm at great expense to our lives. So I think you should praise Nigerian press, not the Nigerian press. Things have changed. No, but that's what we're doing today now. On the show, why you call this laws of political literacy? And I do this every Sunday, based with the word of God, enlightening people, getting their lives better, doing a lot of charity. It doesn't get better than this. This is a platform. These are many platforms. It's on Instagram, it's on Facebook, close to 1 million followers. It's live on radio. This is it now. Give Nigeria Press some. Don't just come and do that thing where you come and dump all the shit on Nigeria Press. We're doing a good job. Bless you, my brother. I appreciate you. Hello. Great to have you. Morning. Great to have you. Yeah.
Thank you for your addressing the smart governor, my smart governor, who nobody has outbid or performed his achievement because he was the visionary leader and it's also a Christmas leader. In Nigeria, we lack leadership strategic thinkers. People only go to power, grab power in order to accumulate a mass wealth for themselves and for their generation, immediate compound, that they cannot even enter before the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. What people need to understand is that they came there with nothing, with nothing.
Yes, sir.
We start the beginning and there must be an end to everyone's life. This topic of the end we are marching on one day will become our roof. I don't know why people are too advanced, like those people they do the minor separated in the name of they want to outstage or the remove the president. How can those children plan to remove the president? What weapon do they have? They fail to go after the tourists and the bandits and the criminals terrorizing the country. I'm sorry for I apologize to God. May God Almighty forgive me. I campaign and voted for Mr. President. I thought it's going to perform differently, not knowing that it's going to be the worst president.
So you campaign and you voted for President Tinubu. How do you feel now? Say that again. Let's hear it.
I apologize to my God. May the Lord Almighty forgive me. If there's any opportunity, I will withdraw my vote, my mandate, among the vote counted for him that make him the winner. And 2027, I'm doing everything possible and the grand mobilizer. What I did for him, I want to go to do it against him. I'm a party member, a big party member, but I'm transiting from APC because the party has saved me this administration. Hello?
Okay. We'll have you. Yeah.
I would recommend to Nigerians, we have these very visionary people who have been tested and trusted. You have the right of the Brigadier General Marwa, the right of the director of World Trade Organization. We go to Cote d'Ivoire. We have Peter Obi. We have Donald Duke. Let these people appeal me at this African Development Bank. The people that are going to campaign for 2027, the right of article, all this, they want to grab power to grab the authority to accumulate what they have been spending in trying to become the president of Nigeria. These people, they don't have any vision, any plan, any sensible plan for this country. They only have plan for themselves. And enough is enough. If Mr. President, for letting those people, if you have been aware of what is happening in this country, they know that Nigerians are suffering. Those children, they paraded in the court last week. You should free them. You should better free them because it will be the 10th president of Nigeria that will try and claimed by international criminal court for war crime, and all the even the entire protest, I know who directed or who mobilized, who called it army to go and shoot those people at the electrical gate. And what happened on the ocean for the university, don't try power. If I think 2027 is going to be a great way, it's going to be great, they're not going to beat you. And you know that you will need to be dying or we need to save this country from the weekend. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, so that's somebody there. He said he voted President Tinubu in the last election. So, like I said, it's going to be delusion for a lot of you think people didn't vote for President Tinubu. So when you keep blaming INEC a lot, I'm like, no. So that's just it. But that's about all we'll be able to take on this series. Would like to say a very big thank you. I have some insights from global ideas for development out of the conference, and I'm going to be playing them all across them so that you can see how the world is thinking. So that at some point, probably Nigeria will be able to get there. I love you so much as you go this week. God will bless you, will keep his face on you, will keep his purpose in your life intact, and he will make his grace and blessing shine over you in the mighty name of Jesus. Today we talked about vision. We're going to also continue this series. The things that happen to a nation when it lacks vision. It's going to be a lot of pain for the people when there's lack of vision. Please don't forget to support Manjem from us. What's it called? Icon of Hope Foundation on the numbers. I'll see if I can post the flyer of the account number and all of that, so that people will be able to get it and we'll take it on from there. God bless you. It's going to be well with our souls. We'll keep talking. Things are probably going to get better at some point, it as well.
Good morning, everybody. Glad to be here again. And not only I'm glad to be here again, but I'll be more than proud to be here next year and the year after. Not necessarily as an energy minister of Saudi Arabia, but as a citizen of Saudi Arabia. Because what we have been doing so far and what we will be doing in the future is something worthy for everybody to see and something we will be proud to share it with our friends who took the trouble of joining us in understanding what we have been doing, but more important and more relevant, what we shall be doing. Without much ado, I did deliberately choose the title of my speech in this so-called elusive black box transition. And I was trying to create a bit of a glimpse of suspense on what this is all about. And it will be easy. So this is a short effort of trying to figure out what we have done as a country over the last 6-7 years. And the dotted spaces is more to say that there was a lot that had been done. It had been done over a 6 to 7 years period. I don't have to talk about how much transformations we have underwent over the last few years, but it is a prelude for what I want to introduce for you in terms of what we will be doing, had been doing, will continue to do when it comes to our energy transition. But the base case is if we, this country, the people of this country, and our partners were capable to do this mammoth historical transformation, which in my judgment, and I hope I'm not wrong, and I'll leave it for you, and I'll leave it for history to come up with the conclusion and the verdict. But show me any country on planet Earth that had underwent this transformation in such short period. I just yet to see somebody who could confirm to me that there was some country that had done so. So if I am correct, then I must be also hopefully correct that when I describe our energy transition, I think you will concur with me that this country does not know the word impossible. We're transitioning with a purpose, and that purpose, you could see it in front of me. But we're trying to export all forms of energy. We're trying to use our circular carbon economy as an approach to give us guidance of where we are going to go. And we are also leaping into manufacturing of exporting manufactured and engineered products. Why? Very simple. We want to enhance our economic diversification, value creation, supply chain resilience, and job creation, which is a fundamental and important thing for all of us. That journey had started way before, and we had a good glimpse of what it could achieve to us. In the 70s, when we had put together our first 5 years plan, second 5 years plan, the concept of capturing was created, and you could see, and people had seen the result and the achievement we have secured by capturing gas. 2 industrial cities were created. An entire industry in the name of chemicals was created. We have transitioned from using liquids to gas in the form of methane, not only in creating electricity, but also in producing water. And as a result, you have a company called SABIC today, and you see how SABIC had evolved and will be evolving, so as Aramco in the chemical sector and the entire sector. An entire sector actually was created in the 70s. Now, we have something also we are so proud of, and I will go through it with you quickly. I know Yasser is here. I know Richard is in backstage. I hope that platform that doesn't have any ejector for me to get me out, but I'll try to do it as fast as I can. Energy efficiency. This is what we have done. We started that program 2012. We kickstart some of these programs, some of it in 2013, 14, 16. We worked as a government, not as a ministry. In fact, efficiency, if you look at how many were involved in it, I think there will probably be about 20-some between government institutions, companies, and what have you. I'll give you an example of what we have achieved. Efficiency that was led by the IEA in the mid-70s as a result of higher oil prices, I think it commenced somewhere about 75, 76. So the OECD countries had that experience for probably the best part of 50 years. Look at what we have achieved in less than 6 years, or in less than 11 years, when it comes to efficiency and, of air conditioning. We are almost at par with the US, little short of the EU, but certainly we will continue trying to catch up. Look at the fleet average standard. We are at par with the US almost, and with the influence of electricity, electrical cars and what have you, and hoping to go for even hydrogen ourselves in these cars, we will be at par with everybody. But look at the time we've spent. The cars is 6 years or 8 years program. So if the OECD achieved all of these numbers in almost 50 years, and we are achieving similar conclusions or results in a lesser, probably 20% of the time that was spent on these programs. Again, I will ask you, what is it that we will not be able to do? Energy mix transformation, and I will go about that very quickly because some of you have seen it, but I wanted to make sure that everybody go through the experience of instigating and activating a program, a holistic program, and it has to be holistic, and it has to work like, as I keep saying it, just a week ago, this thing has to operate again. I'm not advertising Swiss clocks or watches, but indeed it has to work like a Swiss watch. I'll give you a glimpse of what we have done, we've been doing. We've been quiet boys and girls, but this is what we have been tendered as a renew jobs projects. We can't hide that. It's all in the public domain. 44 gigas of renewables is exactly about 50% of the installed capacity of the UK. 90% of the installed capacity of Sweden, 100% of the installed capacity of both combined, Switzerland and Austria, and 100% of what Malaysia capacity is. Now, when it comes to growth, comparing what the US had installed last year, 44 giga, Germany 18 gigawatt, ourselves this year, we will be doing the 20 giga. Now, I didn't want to compare with China because we will all look small comparatively. How we're going to be doing the 20 giga in every year? We have just embarked on a program which is the first as an experience that has never, and I'm sure of that, no country had underwent this exercise that I'm going to explain to you, which is we took as sizable as 850,000 kilometers, equivalent to the combined size of the UK and France, or Spain and Germany, and we're doing surveys in advance to ensure that we will have a bankable data on these sites, selected sites, just to ensure that we will have a backlog of lands that would expedite our process when it comes to commissioning new projects. It will reduce cost to the developer. It would allow banks to lend with certainty by just putting meters and calculating data, and continue calculating data to make sure that this information will be virtually on the dot, and therefore it stands a better chance for having to avoid spending a year or 2 years, depending on what you're doing in terms of renewable, whether it will be wind or solar. Prices. Again, we started with Skaka, and look at the price. Shaiba is under construction, look at the price. People talk and complain about cost of producing renewable. Sadawi, we're just about to close that, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. When it comes to wind, again, we still hold the records. The very country that started late, and this is the holder of the record of both solar and wind. What we're doing in both, transitioning away from liquids to gas, and I'll tell you a story about the gas. This is what we're doing. We're converting 23 gigas that were using liquids, we're moving them to gas. We've already signed up to a lot of gas turbine units, and the best part about it, we have already committed ourselves to carbon capture. So whoever questions our commitment that we will use gas, unabated gas and unattended to gas, is wrong, because each and every contract that we have signed over the last 2 years had that commitment of making sure that carbon capture and storage readiness will be there. Look at the size of our system. Not a lot of people think of how much and how big that system. Probably I didn't have the time to compare it with Europe, but look at what it is. I even think that many of our friends, many of our colleagues, citizens in Saudi Arabia don't know that. Today it's 95, just the transmission line. Just to give you a glimpse of how mammoth the job is. 95,000 kilometers of transmission line being spread in Saudi Arabia. We will move it to 160,000 kilometers. And those 95,000 are old, unattended to, and lacked maintenance, so we are overhauling them and building the new ones to ensure that grid will be commensurate with the bigger ask, which is when we move more to renewable, when we have the issue of intermittence, that you will have the grid to attend to that, because otherwise you will have a serious energy security and energy reliability issue. So as in distribution, 827,000 kilometers, and we're moving it to 1 million, 1.1 million. Now, when it comes to other things, which is the substations, both, look at where we are and look at what we're going for. Look at what we are when it comes to the substations for transformers for the distribution side. The bigger issues. We're linking every region in Saudi Arabia to ensure that no place in Saudi Arabia that does not have at least 2 sources of electricity coming, and therefore a huge transmission lines will be dedicated to serve that. We have already signed 26 gigas of batteries, and by 2030 we will be doing a 48. The 7 distribution control centers is again to ensure, today there are 2, there will be 9, which is again taking into account the transformation we will go into the power sector. This country, I can vouch here in front of you, not a single consumer that does not have smart meters. I don't want to compare because it will be an embarrassment for so many countries. Amongst the top G20, they don't have it. Hydrogen. Again, thanks to you, NEOM, and thanks to the vision of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, Prince Mohammed. Look at how much we're compared with the others. We're actually the biggest producer of hydrogen. People talk about hydrogen. People talk a lot about green hydrogen. Show me who has that capacity being already executed. Show me who is willing to say, we're ready. We're ready to export clean hydrogen, green hydrogen. Have people here in Aramco, in Sabic, they're touring everywhere in planet Earth, marketing hydrogen. Still have some capacity to sell. We also are marketing, and that's why we got engaged into the corridor arrangements, just to ensure and make sure that the world understands that we're ready to export green electricity, green hydrogen at any sizable. Trust us and test us if you want. But we also want to make sure that hydrogen can be used and available in Saudi Arabia for those who wants to come and invest here in those hard-to-abate sectors. And for the purpose of time, I'm sure you know it better than me. We are also committed to maintaining 12.3 million of crude capacity. We're proud of that. But look at what it takes to maintain that capacity. And there are so many people who claims to be understanding oil. If Saudi Arabia has to go through these investments to maintain potential, I would tell some of the Well, for the purpose of respect, I will tell those people who talk about this country is going to increase this country is going to increase that, and the total number is 7 million. Well, there is something called natural declines. And if you don't attend to that, you lose over time. And if you don't continue spending 60% of an upstream company on maintaining potential, you lose that potential. However, there are good people that take these things lightly, but anyway, only, as Tolstoy was saying once in one of his novels, only time and patience will prove the contrary. Look at our gas. Unleashing, this is a country that actually will make money out of transitioning. Probably the only country on planet Earth that would make real money out of transition. Because we're building the gas pipelines. We now are monetizing untapped resources in the name of Jafura and the rest. And we're extending a huge amount of pipelines with the shrubs going all over the countries to ensure that these industrial cities will be supplied with gas. But here comes the biggest price. Look at this amount of pipelines. And we're not talking about daydreaming. Contracts have been signed. Execution is being executed by Aramco. The ownership of it will be to the state and the government. The government attended to make sure that Aramco would not lose money out of this thing, but will be an operator. But more important, it is our gateway to monetize our gas. And again, look at how many countries can stretch 4,000 square meters, 4,000 kilometers of gas pipelines all over the world. A lot of people would have songs about it. Look at what will help us. Because that gas, if produced, will give us also more liquids and more ethane. And look at the multipliers. And we know for certain, and actually we are conservative with these numbers, that in basic chemical will double, at least double. And when it comes to downstream chemicals, it will be tripled. Emission management. And by the way, the thing that I talked about, in doing all of that energy mix, it's been there for a while. I know a lot of people of you have heard it. We will be saving 1 million barrels, which we would be able to export it. And by the way, we are engaging in most of these chemical things. We will be using oil to chemicals, domestically and abroad. And that's why you see us, or you see Aramco, investing a lot in China, and will be investing a lot everywhere else in planet Earth, because we would like to continue monetizing our hydrocarbons. In this room, 2019, I did say we will monetize every molecule of energy this land has, period. Now, we're not ashamed of our record when it comes to emissions. We're actually proud of it. But the pundits try to create a smoke screen not to allow us to be in the so-called higher moral ground, if you want to. Look at the methane intensity. And by the way, Aramco did work on it even since the 80s. Look at where we are. We're second to Norway. And I did tell my friend in Brazil just 2 months ago that watch out, we're going to catch up with you very soon. Flaring intensity. With a production as big as Saudi Arabia, look who's ahead of us. And look how much we are so close to Canada. So I'll tell my friend in Canada, watch out, we're coming. And I wouldn't be surprised that within the next few years that you will see us, and because we are engaged in so many initiatives that will allow us and actually ensure that we will deliver that. But more important, look at our carbon intensity when it comes to production. And ask yourself why people would come to us, lecturing us on acting as decent global citizens, when we have a record that make a lot of people wonder if these speeches are to be rendered for us or rendered for their own selves. These are the initiatives that we are plugged in. So we're not shy actually from being involved in these initiatives, because first it helps us to give us guidance and help us to help others to achieve what we are achieving, and ensure that people understand what steps that we have taken to continue taking a leading role in these things. Because it helps our narrative. Our narrative is we use circular carbon economy to ensure that we monetize every resource of energy this country has, and we can win the race of monetizing your energy resources, yet attend to climate change. And by the way, these routine missions, we've done that a long time ago, actually 2018, I think, Ahmed, if you remind, I think it was 2018 that we've already achieved that. This is what we're doing in terms, again, we're putting our money where our mouths are. This is what we are trying to achieve, our Aramco and SABIC want to achieve when it comes to carbon capture. The future is very simple. We need to work on creating one of the world's largest CCS with carbon capture and use, basically. In Yanbu we have one. We're working with some companies on that. We are also decarbonizing through our the gas turbine units that I talked about, which is about 42 giga, where we are committed, as I said, to ensure that the CO2 will be captured. By the way, we did, and we reached out to our friends from the EU that we're willing to make avail some of our, again, we're lucky. We have so much empty aquifers, and we're willing to make others make use of it if they select to store their own CO2 in Kingdom. We have our commitment to create at some point a carbon market. Look at that, how much, and we've been staging it. And the reason we've been staging it is, again, we want to ensure credibility and reliability. We did start with a voluntary carbon market for the Kingdom, and we work hand in hand with PIF in all of these steps. We did launch in October last year, when we had the MENA week, we did launch that. Avail renewable energy certificate, Aramco and others, and PIF, along with the principal buyer, that company that do all the tendering, will own 50% of that. Assess the feasibility of an emission compliance system tailored to the Kingdom. We learned from everybody's problems and mistakes. I will give it to the EU that they had the start, but they had a very tough start. So learning from what everybody underwent, we wanted to take our time to ensure that whatever regulation and structures and what have you should be first commensurate with our own needs, pertinent to our own economy, which makes it somewhat different from one country and one to the other. And that's why we're targeting that we will pilot for the next 2-3 years, just to ensure that that readiness is there. Again, it is for the purpose of enhancing reliability of the system. I think today we will be signing something with PIF as a prelude for the announcement of the exchange platform that we would like to do it in Baku. I think it goes well that we tell our friends who are engaged in climate change negotiation that we're taking also a lead among so many countries that keep talking about it, but they don't have it. PIF had already launched one of the largest, if not probably the largest, voluntary carbon credit auction as a way to ensure that their own company has the readiness and availability. Also, we are engaged in all of these activities that, again, we ensure that we will have a refreshed NDC next year. And I can guarantee you, out of knowing that the number will be higher, and it will give us a pleasure to make it higher and higher as we go. But we know that this approach of us will deliver us better NDCs as we go. Nobody on planet Earth created something as similar as to the Saudi Green Initiative and the Middle East Initiative. This is a country that decided that it wants to be accountable and it wants to be monitored, and created these two initiatives to help the country fostering what it takes to do good things in kingdom to ensure that people understand that we are dead serious about what we're doing. Not only that, we're offering to help other countries to try to achieve lower emissions in our endeavor to be a global citizen, attending to countries in the context of South to South. Localization. Just last week, we have celebrated with Aramco, SABIC, SEC. I keep repeating it. I will give it to Aramco and SABIC. They launched their own local content programs way back. So as SEC later on. But then the whole country went through, like everybody, went through the experience of COVID, which really triggered a bigger question for the country on, do we sit on our hands or do we figure out what is happening to the supply chain and the resilience of that supply chain? In a short thing, we did review and we found that probably the best sector that did not suffer the most as others was the energy sector, thanks to Iktifa and Nusanid and Bina. However, the direction changed for too many purposes, especially supply chain resilience, and especially also to try to monetize more of our own resources in mines and what have you. And we honestly, going through the transitioning that we are going through, we do identify with the rest of the world that energy security definition will be changed to one that encompasses materials and raw materials. And those who will capture it first will have the ability to say, I do have an energy security. Those who are going to miss, I think they will miss forever. So be careful, the word has transitioned in the definition of what we call it energy security. So to do that, we had to congregate as an ecosystem including every part of the government that can be part of this. And that's why we are also working with the Ministry of Industry and Ma'aden, which is a company owned by PIF. In fact, they've created another subsidiary just to make sure that whatever we cannot have here, we will go and hunt for it anywhere, just to make sure that we have our own minerals and materials requirements are sealed and secured. In our endeavor, we are, as I said, addressing energy supply security of the other things that we're doing. There is an economic value for these programs. It creates jobs, it helps in diversifying the economy, But now, as I announced last week, who said we will be confined to secure our own needs? No. We honestly believe, learning from our experience, learning from the partners that we have, that actually this country can become a local content or a hub for supplying all of the region and beyond the region. We're honest. We're telling you what we have achieved so far. Look at how much we achieved when it comes to hydrocarbon or conventional power. And we have already identified, we've already committed to these things that we'll be doing now, and we will have more to need to deliver to give us that 75%. Look at what we have achieved on the renewable, and this is in the glimpse of the last 2 years, by the way. And I'll have to give it to PIF. And I think they would probably tell you that we did a lot of work with them. Yasser went to China last month. He can testify of how much work we have done with PIF to secure these things. So we are not shy to say we are 21%. But comes next year, we will show you where what did we hit, and the years to come. The one thing I'm sure of, that the jackbox, which is 75%, will be hit by 2030. Human capital. Because it's part of the whole thing. I took a lot of time. But trust me, I have a team working with so many organizations, looking at every possibility of what kind of jobs, be it that require any type of education, including vocational programs, using every institution existent in Saudi Arabia, using even institutions within the companies such as Aramco, SABIC, and SEC, to ensure that we overhaul the education and training programs and enhance them and enlarge them, including working with universities to put so many items in their curricula, just to ensure that we will have a matching thing between the jobs that will be created as a result of our transformation and the kind of cadets that will come and try to fill these jobs. I have a very capable team. It is not the ministry, it is the entire ecosystem working on that, because it would be shameful that we create the jobs, but we don't have the right people to fill these jobs. In all of this, we still remain faithful to the so-called energy trilemma. We want to make sure that we don't lose sight of energy security. We want to make sure that we don't lose sight of energy access and affordability. And certainly, if we do all of the above, we will not lose sight of our sustainability goals and climate action. Last but not least, this is our commitment transitioning is definitely a part of our DNA. That's why I started telling you in the beginning of my speech, show me again, I will repeat it, show me any country in planet Earth, even historically, that had achieved this transformation. In the last 6-7 years, I have yet to see somebody with a straight face who can come and say, I have a better example than this country. So it goes without saying that transitioning is part of our DNA and will continue to be part of our DNA, and actually we will set the example for everybody to follow suit. Youth, and that's the gift that we have. With all due respect, this is a young country. This is not an old country like others. And the youth that we work with and the youth that you will see in every street in Saudi Arabia, in every place in Saudi Arabia, is damn demanding. And they will continue. And they will really deliver what we are. I am an elderly person. Yasser is a very young person, and so as others. But trust me, we don't gamble, but we know for certain, and we have the feel, and we know the energy there. These guys, in the plural sense, women and men, have the ambition, the talent, and the stamina to get away with what they want. So we're here to help. Last of which, I hope I made a case not only for the energy sector, but I hope I made a case for the entire country and the people of this country. And if I did make that case for you, we still want you to be part of our journey. We still want you to be part of our story. And we still, as we have done 50 years ago, we welcomed the idea of joint venturing. And we succeeded in mastering the art of joint venturing. And we want you to be our partners. So if you do, just sweep the barcode. I have a team, dedicated team. We'll send you everything. We'll send you the presentation. We'll talk to you. We'll reach out to you. We'll make sure that you understand what we want and what we want to do. If you want to be part of our story, scan the code. Thank you.
Your Royal Highness, thank you so very much. It's always a pleasure listening to you. Thank you so very much, and good to see you. Now we're coming to a special moment in the program where there is going to be the signing of an agreement between the Regional Voluntary Carbon Market Company and the National Committee for Clean Development Mechanism of Saudi Arabia. And this agreement will play a really crucial role in ensuring that the carbon markets which are established in the kingdom are indeed transparent, robust, and credible. And to participate in the signing of that agreement, I'm going to ask Your Royal Highness if I could ask you to please make your way back onto the stage. Oh, you're here. And if I could also call back on His Excellency Yasser Al Rumayyan, as well as Yazid. Bonani. Goeiemorgen, bonjour, habari, good morning. My name is Dumi Makhabu, and I suppose you can think of me as your guide through today's proceedings. Now, where I come from in the world, I'm from Africa, maybe you get a hint, but specifically I'm from South Africa. And where I come from, if you want to go quickly, you go alone, but if you want to go far, you go together. So opportunities for us to gather in the way that we have today are always important and significant. And I think we have to always take a moment not just to acknowledge, but to thank those who bring us together in the way that we do. And first of all, I'd like you please not only to acknowledge, but to thank His Excellency Yasser Al-Rumayyan. He, of course, is the governor of the Public Investment Fund. He is the chairman of Aramco, and he is also the chairman of the FII Institute. So let's give him a round of applause. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And of course, a gentleman who you had a moment to meet just a few minutes ago. He is quite extraordinary. He is the CEO of the FII Institute, Richard Atias. But of course, they can't do this alone. Can you imagine trying to pull this feat off when it's just the two of them? So we always also have to take a moment to acknowledge some people who could be considered the founding, the vision, and the strategic partners of the FII. We thank you for your commitment and your ongoing support. Just a quick note, remember you do have your device. That was like on cue, it's like I planned it, the phone rang. Please be sure to put your phone on silent because we want to make sure that we stay focused on what's happening on this stage. So, in this room, yes, there are business people, yes, there are investors, but let me tell you what I see. I see pioneers, I see visionaries. I see people who understand that the decisions that are made on African soil today will significantly impact the future of the global economy. Africa isn't just a market of 1.4 billion people, let's just be honest. What it is 1.4 billion stories of potential that are just waiting to be unlocked. So, the people that you will meet, the relationships that you will forge, the insights that will gain, of course, yes, they will be good for business, there's no doubt about that. But for me, what I think is really, really exciting is that they will be key to building Africa's future. And we can do that together. So, shall we start building? Yes, I think we shall. So please welcome CNN's Eleni Jekos in conversation with a man who knows a little bit something about entrepreneurship, Tony Elumelu. He, of course, is the chair of United Bank for Africa Group and also the founder of the Tony Elumelu Foundation. Put your hands together.
Very good morning to you, Tony. So good to see you again. Come take a seat. The hot seat here. Ready for interrogation. Take a seat over there for me. Thank you so much. A very good morning to you, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Delighted to be with you today. My name is Eleni Jekos. I'm an anchor correspondent at CNN. I'm also the host of the most exciting African show, Connecting Africa, because we talk about trade. You watch it, right, Tony?
And investment.
Yeah? And investment. Okay, Tony, just to give everyone a sense of who you are and what you're about. You're the chairman of United Bank for Africa. Yeah. You're the founder, as well as the chairman of Ayers Holdings. Investments in financial services, hospitality, power, energy, technology, healthcare. I'm waiting for food to be added in and agriculture at some point. Yeah. It's coming, right?
It's coming.
Coming? Okay. So for those of you, I'm sure everybody here knows a little bit about Tony, but he's got the most incredible foundation where you've been able to train 1.5 million young Africans through your digital platform and invested $100 million in 20,000 young entrepreneurs, creating 400,000 indirect jobs. I think that deserves a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And what an incredible feat, because you were the pioneer of philanthropy in Africa. I think we must never forget that. But I want you to tell me about why you started focusing on that young African that just has an idea, doesn't know how to put a business plan together, and finding a way to train them and then give them money to make good on their dreams?
I think I am a product of luck.
Yeah.
And I believe that I am where I am today because of luck. And not because I was the most intelligent in class or the most, I wasn't. But the point is, all around us in Africa, we have a young population. Over 60% of our people are under the age of 30. The median age of African population is 19 years. And so looking around you, growing up in Africa, seeing yourself as someone who could or who is where he is today as a result of luck, the best I thought I needed to do was to prioritize these young Africans, invest in them, invest in their future, give them economic opportunities, give them the luck that I had growing up. And that is why my wife and I founded the Tony Elumelu Foundation and decided to see and so it's all about playing our own role in dealing with the issue of poverty alleviation, playing our own role in making sure that everyone, especially our women, are involved in economic activities on the continent, making sure that we create jobs. I believe that joblessness is a betrayal of a generation.
Yeah.
And when young people go to school and they are unable to find jobs, they embrace other vices in society. And we turn back and blame them. But then we ask ourselves, what role did we play in helping to give them economic hope? And I believe that for too long we relied on government to do everything. That also the private sector should play a role supporting them.
So I think you missed something in the formula, because I've known you for many years and you said luck, but actually, I know you, Tony. It's
that when luck meets hard work and preparedness, you succeed. So the luck in itself is like you have ideas, you're energetic, you're intelligent, you're well-behaved, and you have access to a non-refundable seed capital of $5,000 to help you implement your ideas. That's the luck there, but you must work hard. I think I'm very hardworking.
Well, thank you for your honesty on the hard work side. Okay, I was looking at some World Bank figures, and the World Bank estimates that around 60% of startups in Africa will fail within the first 3 years. There are other numbers that say 90% will fail in the first 5 years. You've been funding a lot of these entrepreneurs and these people who want to be visionaries in Africa. What is the failure rate and what is the success rate, and what are some of the businesses where you believe could become mega players in Africa?
I'll say that the failure rate is not low at all, and it's not low because there are quite a lot of challenges that young entrepreneurs go through on the continent, from poor access to electricity, to transportation infrastructure deficiency. So many things happen on the continent. But what I say to them, we must succeed in spite of all of these challenges. The failure rate is high, but from the people we have funded, the 20,000 young African entrepreneurs we funded, we've seen quite a lot of successes. And that is what encourages us. That's what makes us talk to others and say, can we partner together and let's even do more, because the continent needs a lot of such interventions. I believe that as we engage in advocacy with our government, trying to create the enabling environment that will allow these young entrepreneurs to succeed, as Friends of Africa also support in different capacity building initiatives, that the failure rate we see will change. And you don't say you will not, as entrepreneurs also, you don't say you will stop supporting them because some fail. If in a class of 10 you have 4 to 5 who succeed and succeed big, they can help also to lift more others up. But the experience is improving. We're seeing a lot of our young women coming to that space and doing very well. We're seeing young ones in tech sector. We're seeing women in agriculture. And so it's improving, and we want to see more of this. We should not be deterred by the failure that we see. We should aim to succeed in spite of that.
I'm glad you mentioned women entrepreneurs. You mentioned it a couple of times, and actually, the informal economy on the African continent is the lifeblood of the African continent.
It is.
And by the way, women are a big players in that, whether it's the mama mbogas in Kenya that sell fruit and vegetable, or what we see on cross-border. But actually, I don't know if a lot of people know this, there's no equality in your house. Because you have 5 daughters and 2 sons.
We're oppressed at home. My wife, my 5 daughters, that is 6, and then my 2 sons are 9. So we're already oppressed at home. But I am also a product of, I grew up women, my mom, my sisters, and I've seen that investment in women, prioritizing women helps a lot in helping to develop families, communities, and our continent. And I embrace it all around me. Even in our businesses, most of our companies, you have a top leadership there of female. And it's not just because we want to balance this gender conversation. No, it's because they end it. They work very hard. And I have seen that they are great leaders and co. I sit at home. My CEO at home is my wife. So my directors are
now it makes sense. Now your success makes sense.
My directors are my daughter. But the truth is, on the African continent, we have a lot of our lady women, and they are gradually getting involved in more economic activities, but I want to see more of that. And at the Tony Elumelu Foundation, most of our beneficiaries, when we started the foundation, 30% of our beneficiaries were women. But today, we've moved it to 50-50, and that is because more women are beginning to show interest in this area. I believe that the future of Africa lies in the hands of our young ones as well as our women folk. So I'm oppressed at home, but I love it.
It's brilliant. Thank you for your honesty again. I know, it's a round of applause. I don't know why it was quiet. This is the best insight we've had into Tony in a while. I want to talk about the policy environment, and frankly, this is important because, look, we can't fix the electricity problem in a day, right? We know that 60% of Africans either have no electricity or intermittent electricity, which means any entrepreneur is going to face that problem. Supply chains, logistic, very expensive compared to the rest of the world. But one thing that can alleviate the issue and the pressure is how government is treating entrepreneurs. And I wonder what the bureaucracy is like for you, for guys that have made it, and whether it's a conducive environment for entrepreneurs.
So, Eleni, in our group, the Ellis Holdings Group, we operate in 24 African countries.
Yeah. Which is the worst?
I don't want my business close to me, but the truth is, as Tumi said, Africa is a continent.
Yeah.
It's a continent of 54 countries, and I don't use one brush to just paint the entire continent. So in each of the 24 countries we operate in, and in fact, from the philanthropy we do, we can say we operate in 54 African countries because all our 20,000 beneficiaries cut across the entire African continent. They vary from one country to the other in terms of policies. But indeed, policy inconsistency has been a challenge in some of the geographies that we operate in. But gradually, our political leadership, our governments, they're getting more exposed, they're interacting with the others from other parts of the world, they're beginning to embrace the ease of doing business, the fact that if you want your country to develop, you must improve the operating environment. So we are seeing improvement. From when we started expanding across Africa about 15 years ago to today, I see significant improvement. But there's still more room for us to do a lot more. You know, the young entrepreneurs who we support, more would have succeeded if the enabling environment were good. The enabling environment can be better, and we are pushing. And each time I have an opportunity to interact with African leaders, that's what I say to them, soft advocacy. Say, please, you want to create jobs in your country, you can't have jobs when you don't have improvement in access to electricity. You want to create jobs in your country when you have multiple taxation system. It's stifling, it's killing businesses. This is what young entrepreneurs tell us. They can't form their own local government, they can't have their own generating power plant, water treatment plant, etc. You must play your own role to help develop the infrastructure that will help them support what you do. So there's room for improvement on the continent, but the good news is that from where we started some years ago, I've seen progress. I even see African leaders more receptive now than ever before. So,
yeah.
Fingers crossed. We're getting there. You
Fingers
asked
crossed.
about agriculture.
Are you going to get it? What's happening?
I have a friend in the audience here, boy, I think I saw him, who is strong in agriculture. We are looking in that area, but the right environment, because some of these investments that take long gestation.
Yeah.
You don't want to go in there and tomorrow government changes policy. So consistency is good in investments.
That's a very good point. And I, for the people in this room wondering what is the best sector to get into, and again, to what Tumi had said about the most exciting economic frontier, Africa is the most exciting economic frontier on the continent. The people, the resilience, the endurance, the hustle, despite all the challenges. And I wonder what is the most exciting sector for you looking forward, Tony?
I think when I have opportunity like that, I like to tell people that the glass is half full. You can either see challenges or see opportunities. I invest in other parts of the world also. We have investment. We're the only African bank that operates in the United States of America. We have investment in regulated investment in the Gulf, and we also have investment in Europe and Co. In all the places we invest in across our group, there's nowhere else you get the kind of returns on investment as what you get in Africa. So the opportunities are there, challenges are there, but as entrepreneurs, that's what we're trained to do. We are trained to navigate challenges, for the betterment of all, your business and society. So Africa beckons, Africa is open for business. We do have challenges, but you can navigate some of these challenges on the continent. We are a product of that environment, and so it's not just
open for
about
business,
challenge.
absolutely. Okay, so I've seen a lot of, by the way, through my career, I've been seeing multinationals going, we need to get a piece of the African pie, the growth story, the double-digit returns, and you're seeing multinationals coming in. And now you're starting to see multinationals exit because they've been burnt, either by currency or they just can't do business. And if you've tried out Nigeria and you've made it, then you really are a strong entrepreneur. That's what most people say. Why do you think multinationals are failing, and why do you think it's actually time for the African to take control of its own narrative through your philosophy, Afro-capitalism?
I think first that multinationals, some are leaving, some are also coming in. What is good for local or domestic investors is good for foreign investors. Create the enabling environment, and investors will respond rationally. There are a lot of multinationals who have succeeded and expanded on the continent, acquiring more businesses. There are some also, for a variety of reasons, who are divesting from the continent. And I think that Africans are not folding their arms. Afro-capitalism is that call. For a long time, some of us believe that it's time that the African private sector stood up also and be counted. We believe that in the 21st century, investments should be made in critical sectors that help to uplift the African society in a manner that is sustainable. And I believe that from agriculture to energy sufficiency conversation that is going on now, that you're beginning to see African businesses rise and to the occasion. I believe also that the partnership between Africans and foreign investors on the continent will also help. At times, some foreign investors do not necessarily understand the African terrain very well. In the past, you used to have agents. But right now, you have co-investors on the continent who are ready to co-invest. We have African Finance Corporation. I saw the CEO here. They invest on the continent. They support local African investors, and they also support foreign investors. So some of those challenges that some used to have, even especially the local investors about access to capital, is gradually improving. And as we see more improvement in policy consistency on the continent, I believe that young African entrepreneurs and African private sector will even do more. And
perceptions of risk, by the way, that have been one of the biggest issues towards Africa are going to start changing, because perceptions of risk,
risk and reward. It's
the funding issue.
It's risk and reward. That's why I said before that sometimes you look as if the glass is not it looks, the glass is half full. There's nowhere. We invest in countries. The kind of return we have on the continent is significant. You spoke before about currency issues. Yeah. Currency issue is a problem on the continent, but you can also hedge some of these currency issues.
Hopefully.
No, certainly.
Hopefully. Okay, we've got a few seconds left. I want to ask you a question which I think is quite important, because the whole world, geopolitically, we say this, the US sneezes and the rest of the world catches a cold. And frankly, any foreign policy that comes through major economies affects Africa. So let me ask you simply this. Kamala Harris, Donald Trump. Who's going to be better for Africa? Who do we want interfering? Because someone's going to interfere.
I think for me, I know both.
Yes.
But I believe that what's important to me and to the African continent is the person that will formulate the right policy that power our economic transformation on the continent. So the one that has the most positive economic policies that will power African economy is the person I support. Both great people, they have their strengths and weaknesses. I know both of them, but I would like the emergence of who will support the true economic transformation of Africa, because at a time like this, that is what we need on the continent. We need policies that will help to support African, I would say renaissance, but African moving.
So yes, it was Thabo Mbeki that coined African Renaissance, right, in '97. You coined Afro-capitalism. Yeah. We're moving forward.
Yeah, we've seen Africans do great things, and we've seen, I think Bayo Gunlesi is here. When I read about him, all the great things he's doing in the world, from Gatwick to other places, airport to other places, I say, I'm proud of this guy. That is the renaissance we talked about. Yeah. That is the new spirit. We want to see the emergence of African private sector in Africa or elsewhere in the world, doing great things and showing the best that we have of Africa. And indeed, Africa is a land of opportunities. In the past, we used to say when those opportunities begin to translate to tangible outcomes, we're seeing that now. In our group, we see that, and we want to see more investment on the continent. We want to see more partnership on the continent. It's time for investment, it's time for partnership, it's not time for aid now for Africa.
Mr. Tony Elumelu, what a pleasure always to speak to you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Tony Elumelu. Thank you. Brilliant as always.
Thank you.
Tony and Eleni, to both of you, thank you very, very much. Tony, she was trying to get you to commit. And I love how you